Grab the pasta sauce jar in your pantry and check the label for one ingredient: sugar. Some of America's best-selling sauces carry 8 to 12 grams of sugar per half-cup serving. That's dessert territory hiding in something you serve as dinner. Real Italian marinara has 6 ingredients, and sugar isn't one of them. Yet the biggest brands pad their jars with sweeteners, soybean oil, and tomato concentrate diluted back with water. Today, I'm exposing 9 pasta sauce brands to avoid and 5 that taste like real Italy. We start with the biggest jar in America. Number 9. Ragu Old World Style. Ragu is the ultimate immigrant success story turned cautionary tale. Started by an Italian family in 1937, it's now owned by a Japanese conglomerate, Mizkin, and the recipe has drifted a long way from Naples. Old World Style traditional lists tomato concentrate first, meaning tomatoes that were cooked down industrially and re-watered, followed by soybean oil and sugar. The result tastes flat and sweet, less like a sauce and more like tomato candy. There's nothing old world about soybean oil. Italy would file a complaint, and the next brand commits the same crimes with a fancier label. Number 8. Prego Traditional. Prego, owned by Campbell's, is Ragu's eternal rival, and in the sugar department, Prego usually wins the race to the bottom. Traditional runs around 9 to 10 grams of sugar per half cup. Pour a normal portion over pasta, and you can take in more sugar than a glazed donut, in a meal you'd never think to count. The famous thick texture that beat Ragu in ad campaigns comes partly from concentrate and added oil rather than slow-cooked tomatoes. Thickness became the brand's proof of quality, and it's the cheapest trick in the jar. The next offender borrowed a famous name and emptied it out. Number 7. Bertolli Tomato and Basil. If you watched our olive oil research, the name Bertolli should already make you flinch. The sauce line trades on the same faded Italian heritage. Tomato and basil sounds like 4 ingredients. The jar contains far more, including added sugar and oil where a proper pomodoro needs neither. It's not the worst sauce on this list, and that's exactly the trap. It's mediocre sauce at a premium price, sold by an accent. Quick pause. Hit like and subscribe because we expose label games like this weekly, and dinner deserves better. All set? The next one is the price tag trap. Number 6. Great value and bottom shelf store sauces. The cheapest jars on the shelf are cheap for a reason, and the label spells it out. Water and tomato concentrate, soybean oil, sugar, dried garlic, and onion instead of the real thing, and citric acid doing the work that fresh tomatoes should. These sauces aren't dangerous. They're hollow. And because pasta night is a weekly ritual for millions of families, a hollow jar becomes a hollow habit, 12 grams of sugar at a time. Budget shoppers deserve to know the good news later in this list, because one of the best sauces in America is also one of the cheapest per serving. The next brand hides behind a chef's face. Number 5. Celebrity and restaurant branded sauces with long labels. The jar wears a famous chef's smile or a restaurant's logo. The price sits $2 above the shelf average, and the ingredient list reads suspiciously like the budget jars. Concentrate, oil, sugar, natural flavors. Licensing a face costs money, and that money comes out of the tomatoes. There are exceptions, and we'll name a great one in the buy list. But as a rule, the face on the jar is a fee, not a recipe. The next entry is the healthy-looking imposter. Number 4. Light and veggie-boosted sauces. Sauces promising hidden vegetables or lower calories often achieve it with more water, more starch thickeners, and flavor compensations that include, you guessed it, sugar or sweeteners. A proper marinara is already vegetables: tomatoes, onion, garlic, olive oil, basil. Marketing a watered-down version of vegetables as a vegetable upgrade is one of the stranger loops in the grocery store. If you want more veggies in your pasta, add a handful of spinach to a good sauce. The next brand sins against the second most important ingredient. Number 3. Any sauce with soybean or canola oil instead of olive oil. Olive oil isn't a garnish in Italian sauce. It's a structural ingredient that carries the flavor of garlic and basil and gives marinara its silkiness. Swapping it for soybean or canola oil saves the manufacturer pennies and costs the sauce its soul, while loading in omega-6 fats. Scan the oil line on the label before anything else. It's the fastest single test of whether the company respects the recipe or the spreadsheet. The next entry fails an even simpler test. Number 2, sauces where sugar or corn syrup appears in the top 5 ingredients. Ingredient lists are ordered by weight. When sugar cracks the top 5, sweetness is a pillar of the recipe, not a pinch for balancing acidity. Italian grandmothers balance acidic tomatoes with a little slow-cooked onion or a splash of olive oil, not with a sugar bag. Any jar wearing words like homestyle or traditional while carrying donut-level sugar is running a costume party. And the number 1 avoid is the reddest flag of all. Number 1, jars that never mention the tomatoes. Here's the master key to the sauce aisle. Great sauce brands brag about their tomatoes. Italian plum tomatoes, Marzano style, whole peeled, vine ripened. Bad sauce brands talk about everything else. Heritage, family, thickness, value. If the front of the jar can't tell you what kind of tomato is inside, it's because the answer is concentrate from the lowest bidder. The tomato is the sauce. Silence about it is a confession. So which jars pass? Here are 5 that taste like real Italy. First, Ragu's homemade marinara. The gold standard, and it's not close. The ingredient list is a poem. Italian whole, peeled tomatoes, olive oil, onions, salt, garlic, basil, black pepper, oregano. No sugar, no concentrate, no water. It costs more, and blind taste tests from major food publications crown it again and again, because it tastes like a sauce someone's nana simmered, not a factory reduced. Second, Victoria Marinara. The value pick of the premium tier. Same philosophy as Ragu's. Whole tomatoes, olive oil, fresh garlic and onions. No added sugar, usually $1 or $2 cheaper. If Ragu's price stings, Victoria is the answer, and some tasters actually prefer its brighter tomato flavor. Third, Carbone Marinara. The restaurant brand exception that proves the rule. Born from the famous New York Italian restaurant, the Jared version keeps the standards. Italian tomatoes, olive oil, fresh basil, no sugar added. It's a splurge jar for date night pasta, and unlike most celebrity jars, the inside matches the name. Fourth, Mezzetta Napa Valley homemade marinara. Plum tomatoes, olive oil, and a clean short label from a family company that's been at it for generations. The Calabrian chili version is the best spicy Jared sauce in mainstream stores. Full stop. And fifth, Cucina Antica tomato basil. Made with imported Italian San Marzano tomatoes, the variety that built Naples' reputation with no added sugar and no paste. It tastes fresher and lighter than the American thick style, which is exactly how sauce tastes in Italy. There you have it. 9 jars of sweetened concentrate cosplay, and 5 that respect the tomato. And if tonight's dinner plan was pasta, tomorrow's might be pizza, which is bad news because the frozen pizza aisle commits every crime in this video at once, including cheese that isn't legally cheese. That's our next expose. Do not buy another frozen pizza until you've seen it.